So, you're a teen in the middle of summer, and you've been thinking about making some money. But do you know what to do?
What?
Should I work at McDonald's? Or should I mow some lawns? Or what if I do some small gigs here and there? Well, that's why I'm here to help. In this video, I'm gonna try to make that decision a bit easier. So in this video, I'm gonna rate jobs by putting them on a graph, with each job having 4 different categories. That will have a rating ranging from 1 to 10. And at the end, I'll add them all up and see the best one. So what are the categories? 1. Money. Pretty simple. How much you can make, how much you do make. 2. Availability. So if that type of job is available to everyone, or if it's under some very specific situation. 3. Fun. So if the job is enjoyable and not boring, or it's extremely hard and dull. 4. Free time. So basically how much time the job takes, how much free time you will have. So what are the jobs? Dog walking, housekeeper, yard work, cashier / typical 9 to 5, and finally, tutor. So to start off, dog walking is one of my favorite jobs ever because it's super fun to do and very easy as well. Because for me, I really like dogs and I like walking and exercising as well. So it's a perfect combination for people like me. As well, it's just very relaxing sometimes. If you have like an older dog, they're usually not that active or not that excited to go run out, so they just have a very calm walk, and usually you have a very calm walk too. So it's a very fun and simple and pretty easy job to do. So I'll give it an 8 on the fun side since it's a very fun yet relaxing thing to do. Free time. So usually when I've walked dogs, I've had to walk dogs for about 2 to 3 times a day. I mean at max 4 times a day. The dog has like a bladder problem, but normally it's 2 to 3. Of course, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 at night. With the mornings being around 7 to 9 a.m., the afternoons being anywhere around 1 to 3 p.m., and the nights, depends, but it could be anywhere from 6 to like 10. With each walk taking anywhere around 15 to 30 minutes, by the end of the day, you would only have actually worked for about 30 minutes to 2 hours, which in my opinion really isn't that bad. So a good thing about this job is that you're free for almost your entire day. But a downside of that is it kind of interrupts your plans throughout the days. So let's say you have dinner at like 2. No, not dinner. Let's say you have a party at 2 and you have dog walking at 2:30. To leave in the middle of that party, go walk the dog and come back. I mean, it's not that much of a problem. It is kind of annoying. So, I mean, you would have to deal with that. But I mean, apart from that, it's a pretty good job on the free time side of things. So I'll give it an 8 because of that. Availability. So I know in my area, it's super available and very easy to get a gig for dog walking, but that might not be the case for you. Usually you have to live in like a medium-sized town or like a big-ish city to be able to get some good-paying dog walking gigs. I'm not trying to say that it's impossible to like get a job if you live in a small town. It definitely is a bit harder. So I mean, keep that in mind if you live in like Nebraska. I don't know. So for availability, I'll probably give it around a 6. Money, the one thing everyone cares about. So going off of what I've gotten and what I've read on the internet, you can get anywhere from, I mean, on like the really low end, $150 a week to $500 a week on like the really high end of stuff. But of course, it all really depends on how much they pay you per walk and how many times you're walking the dog and a whole bunch of other circumstances. So it depends on a lot of things basically. But to break it down and to give you guys like a point of reference kinda, let's say you're walking a dog 2 times a week. You'll make anywhere from $150 a week to $250 a week. If you're walking a dog 3 times a week, it'll be anywhere around $270 to $380 a week. And if it's 4 times a day, it'll be anywhere around $380 to $500. And usually whenever I've walked dogs, it's been for 2 weeks at a time. So whatever you make in 1 week, double it by the end of it, because usually you'll be walking a dog for 2 weeks. Two. So for money-wise, I'll probably give it an 8 because, well, the amount of money you're earning for the amount of time you're actually working is actually pretty good in my opinion. And as well, compared to some other jobs on the list, it's some pretty good money. Housekeeping, fun. So housekeeping isn't the type of job that, you know, it's not fun. It's not a bad job, but you know, it's not great. It's just because it's just so dull. It's very boring, dull work. I mean, usually whenever I've worked in it, the most exciting or like the best part of the entire day was, let's say like my favorite song came on. That's really about it. It's just really boring work. I mean, some of the work can be pretty easy. Like, let's say if you're dusting or like if you have to like move books around, that's like some pretty easy stuff to do. But like sometimes the job can get like kind of harder or like just annoying to do, like move a bookshelf around. I mean like around the entire area. That's some hard work. Or like say you just gotta kill like a really big bug. I mean, no one wants to actually kill a big bug. They're ugly and disgusting. So, but anyways, for the fun department, I'll probably give it around a 4 because, well, I mean, it's not fun. It's just really boring and really dull. Like I said before, something that can make the experience better is music. So yeah, I recommend you using some headphones. Free time. So in this department, it's kind of tricky to give like a good estimate because there's been times where I've had to go and move a few stuff around, takes like 10 to 15 minutes and boom, I'm done. While there's also been some other jobs where it's literally taken me days, multiple days to finish. So in this department, there's like really no guarantee of how long you're actually working on the project. There's even been times where I've gone in to like do something like small or like something not that big, but while I was there, they needed my help for some other stuff, and by the end of it, I ended up taking multiple days to finish something. So like it's literally no guarantee of how long it's actually gonna take. It's a lot of ifs and buts and sometimes here, sometimes. So don't take anything for granted. I would say like a rough estimate of like an average job usually takes about like 1 to 3 hours. But the thing is, for this type of job, there isn't like a steady flow of work, you know what I mean? Sometimes 1 week you're jam-packed with jobs all over the place. And other times you're literally waiting months on end to get a job. So once again, there is no guarantee on anything free time wise. But I'll probably give it around a 9 because, well, for most of the time you just be doing nothing, just waiting to get a job. And even when you do get a job, it takes 1 to 3 hours, which is like nothing. So you're free for almost the entire year. So it's gonna get a 9. Availability. So this is also kind of a tricky thing to like decide on because I'm pretty sure you can get this type of job anywhere really, because well, everyone wants their houses to be cleaned. It's just a matter of actually finding the job. I mean, it is a bit awkward to find clients as well. I mean, like sometimes I have to just go up to their door and just knock, say like, do you need house cleaning? Yes, no, maybe. So, who knows? But a good thing is that usually when you find a client or a person to do cleaning for, they usually stick around. They call you for other jobs later in the future, or at least they have for me. So that's a positive about that. And even if in your neighborhood there isn't any, you know, person that wants house cleaning or wants to pay for house cleaning, it's kind of like funny. You just gotta go to an area, a neighborhood that you know has money, and you know that there is people that are willing to pay for house cleaning, and even sometimes pay a bit more for house cleaning. So it's just a matter of trying to find somebody. That's it. So for availability, I'll probably give it an 8. Money. So this is a kind of tricky thing to specify because from what I've experienced and from what I've seen on the internet, literally none of it matches up. Like in rate of pay, amount paid, how often you get, just everything basically was completely different. Not similar in any form. Like from personal experience, I've always been paid in increments of 20. So, you know, 20, 40, 50. 20, 40, 60, 80 to 100. And and from what I read on the internet, it said that they get paid on an hourly basis, or like 12 bucks an hour was the average I saw, which isn't bad for the, I guess, quality of work you're doing. But as I said before, the jobs aren't really that steady. Like the amount of jobs you get are not, you know, it's not like you have jobs lined up every single day for the next week, for the next month. It's, you get a call out of the blue and they want you to clean for 1 week, and then you don't know when you're gonna clean next. So it's kind of like tricky. So yeah, it's definitely not a steady flow of work. But also, even for me, it hasn't always been guaranteed the amount of money I work for the amount of time I work. I don't know if I explained that very properly. Okay, so what I mean by that, there's been times where I've worked for like 3 to 4 hours and only got like 20 to like 40 bucks, which is like not good. But there's also been times where I've only worked for like 2 hours and I've got like 80 to 100 bucks. And like the reason because of it is because like the level of work I was doing was completely different. I guess how much a person valued the work I was doing was different as well. So like things like that change how much you can pay. So money-wise, I'll give it a rating of 4 out of 10. Yard work. Fun. Well, okay, so yard work and housekeeping are very, very similar in this aspect of like fun, because both of the work is very, very dull, and usually the highlight of the entire day is your music selection. So I mean, like usually like the work you would do is like clearing a path after like a snowstorm, or like, you know, raking up leaves, or like mowing lawns, like, so, you know, stuff like that, yard work. So I mean, since it's so similar to housekeeping, I'll give it the same rating of 4. Free time. So with these jobs, they're even shorter compared to housekeeping, with each job taking them around like 15 to like 30 minutes, which is like very, very, very quick. And something else that's actually very similar to housekeeping is the amount of work you do get. Like I said, you know, some weeks are, you know, jam-packed with work. And there's times where you can go months and months on end without getting one single job. So in that aspect, they're very, very, very similar as well. So since these jobs are quick and were very easy to do, and you usually have to wait a long time to get jobs, I feel like it makes sense to give it a 10 in this aspect. Availability. So usually with these type of jobs, they really depend on the time of year it is and where you live. So I live in New York, and we have 4 seasons, you know. Fall, spring, summer, and winter. I don't know how I went in that order, but yeah, we have winter, fall, summer, and spring. And with each season, something else happens. So like in winter, we usually get a lot of snowstorms. So usually a lot of jobs would be getting over here is like, you know, clearing up snow off a car, or like shoveling snow to make a path. Jobs like that, or like I say, if it's fall, you like raking up leaves, or like I said, if it's summer or spring, most of the jobs you'll be doing is like mowing lawns. Of course, every single one of those jobs depends on lots of factors. So for the snow stuff, that depends on if there was a snowstorm, one, and if that snowstorm was so big and so powerful that somebody doesn't have the energy to clean up all that snow off on their car, or like off the lawn, or like if it's fall, you know, if there was like a random buildup in front of one house and there's a lot of leaves, if the person wants to pay for it, they could. It depends on a lot, and I really do mean a lot of factors to get a job like this, jobs like this. Oh, and I seriously do mean this. Once you do get like a perfect combination of like situations, like let's say a massive snowstorm, I mean a massive snowstorm, that can you can really earn a lot of money when that happens. But since that's only under some like very specific circumstances and only happens every once in a while, I'll probably give around a 5, since you have to wait, long periods of time in between major jobs. But when the time does come, like I said, you can really do a lot of jobs in one day, and you really get a lot of jobs to do money. So this also is a kinda tricky thing to explain, because it depends on a lot of factors. It depends on the type of job you're doing. It depends on the amount of work you're doing, where you're doing it, as well. It has a lot of different, you know, things that could change the amount of money you get paid. But the standard I normally get paid for a normal job is like 10 to 20 bucks, which, you know, isn't that much. But as I said before, you can, you know, also go months on end without getting a single job. So, I mean, imagine that, you know, 10, 20 bucks, and then you have to wait 2-3 months to get another job. So it's not great money. But when the time does come, and I really do mean when the time does come, you can really make bread. Like, you can make money off of that. Like, this is like an example, and it is a very extreme example, right? Let's say you get 5 jobs all in one day for 1 week. You've got yourself $700 right there. I'm not even lying. This is full-on truth. I'll have the math. I have the math on screen. If you don't believe me, if you do 5 jobs every single day for 1 week straight, you get $700 a week. 700. That is a lot of money. So it's really good when it's like the right time to make money, but in actual reality, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Getting 5 jobs in 1 day is very hard. And then getting 5 jobs on 6 other days all in a row is, I would probably say, almost probably impossible. If you're doing it just by yourself with no connections, it's basically impossible to do that. So the possibility of you actually making $700 in 1 week, very low. And I really do mean very low. So overall, I'll probably give it around a 5, since in theory, you can make a lot of money. I mean a lot of money, but in actuality, it's not that much, since you have to go months on end waiting for jobs, and the jobs don't pay that much, so.
Okay, so 2 things. One is that this is the end of part 1 of this video. Part 2 should be out in like 2 weeks, hopefully, if nothing goes wrong. And well, the second thing is that I just want to say sorry. Sorry for the late upload. It's just, well, okay, so the amount of stuff I had to deal with to get this video done is, okay, so to start off, right? My PC literally broke. It was broken for a week, an entire week. 7 days. It was broken, right? I finally got it repaired, right? Literally the day I get it repaired, my editing software, the software I edit with, was also broken for 4 days. 4 days. I don't know why. It wasn't working. One day, it started working again, and what I'm happy is working now, but it just wasn't working for 4 days, and that really stressed me out. And then to top out that entire list, if that wasn't enough, my footage got corrupted twice. And if you don't know what your footage getting corrupted means, basically, your footage at some point in the video just literally stops working. It stops working. I've had to re-record the video 3 times. 3 times. So, you know, it was definitely a hassle getting this video done. But I did finish, so that's good. But because all those problems arose, it made me rush this video out, which sucks and hopefully never happens again. So sorry about that. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please sub. If you didn't like it, I guess you could dislike. I wouldn't like that, but you could do it technically. So it's a free country. So, but yeah. Anyways, see you guys in like 2 weeks or so, I guess. You know, the outro should be kicking in pretty soon, huh?